I'm a good old fan of NyQuil. Like, just drinking so when you feel sick, going to bed for like 16 hours, waking up and going like, oh, you know what? I like that.
I don't know if that's great medical advice.
Okay.
But you know what's a good one?
Remedy.
It's a good one. Advil.
Okay, so obviously you're no stranger to medical dramas, but I am curious how you manage to, decompress after filming such intense scenes.
It is a fun set. We work really hard. We take the work extremely seriously, but because of the subject matter, like foxholes and real ORs, you get gallows humor as a way of bleeding off some of the tension from the things that you're doing and saying. And we have a really wonderful cast, all of whom have really specific senses of humors that work well with each other. So we do manage to have a lot of fun over the course of the day. And so it begins.
You guys do this every day?
If we're lucky.
Special in the sense that there's sort of a culture built up around the production that is a sense of buy-in and commitment that you don't really find replicated in other shows. We tend to want to spend more time with each other, not less, and we tend to be excited at the prospect of coming back to work and not looking to figure out how much time we can get off, which is just rare and beautiful. So it's where you get 1 + 1 = 3 more often than not.
What inspired you to structure The Pit as a real-time narrative covering one extended ER shift?
Having already done a medical show and had done it for a long time, we wanted it to feel different. And we didn't know how many episodes, 10, 12, but it felt like, well, 12 episodes is the length of a ER shift. So why not we do 12 hours and we try and do it in real time? And it was a crazy idea. We didn't really know if it was going to work. I wasn't even sure it was going to work until I saw the cut of the first episode.
The show is often praised for its authenticity. Knowing that you worked closely with like medical consultants, what was the most surprising insight that they brought that probably changed your writing?
I don't know if it changed my writing, just sometimes learning things that I hadn't known about certain medical conditions or how you treat certain things or process. One of the things that I didn't know that we put in the episode in the first season was that the Muslim community had paid for all the funerals of the Tree of Life shooting. And that was really had sort of been out of the news cycle, certainly from my perspective. And I felt like that was something that was very important to get out there and to let the people know that that was something that really happened.
So obviously the show highlights real world challenges, like you mentioned. Why do you think it's important to showcase that within all the characters in the show?
The emergency department is unique in the fact that it sees all of society's ills and they show up there first. So the emergency department is the first place where we start to see, that we have an opioid crisis. It's the first place we start to see COVID. It's the first place we started to see AIDS. It's important to talk to those people in the field and find out what is coming down the pike that's going to scare you. What are you afraid of? That's how we did our measles story. It seemed very, very topical, but the reality was when we started working on it, there wasn't a measles outbreak, but we knew that it was inevitable that there would be because of the lack of vaccinations and everyone trying to, embrace this herd mentality. And the end result is you have, fatalities of children because of, disinformation more than anything.
We see glimpses of every character's personal life, but Dr. McKay really just stood out. Why do you think it's important to show a skilled doctor navigating recovery from addiction?
Oh, I think it's an interesting perspective to see somebody who has experienced rock bottom in their life and then is in a place where she is face to face with people who are in distress and maybe have had the same difficulties as her. It's really an exercise in empathy and intuition and understanding where they're at.
I used to be an addict. Even lost custody of my kid.
I never would have guessed.
I went through some really dark times before I finally got help. I guess I'm oversharing because I want you to know not everybody has it all figured out all the time.
I think that's the utility of the character, and feels like a gift to be able to play.
Giovanna, this one's for you. Your character is so fascinating to watch, and obviously she's on a journey like everyone else. What can we expect in terms of your character's growth in this new season?
I think Shivati for me is really a coming of age story, in amongst all these other stories that we have. But she's so young and she's figuring out what she wants to do with her life. And I think so this season is much more like pressurized than last season in terms of like if she wants to stay in medicine, she's really having to figure out now what she does with her life, which is I think a really painful sort of place for her to be. It's a really hard thing to choose to do with your life so young, and the stakes are literally life and death all the time. And the coursework is so intense and full that you just can't know everything. These students stay up night after night revising and trying to get all this information in their brains. And so I think that is a really important story, I think, to show. So I think I'm really excited for people to see like a new side of Javadi and a complicated side of Javadi.
The show is so intense, but obviously Whitaker brought some levity in season 1, especially with all those scrub changes.
Yeah.
What do you think that says about his character?
I hope it's something maybe audiences would attach to, people who weren't familiar with the ins and outs of what goes on in an ED room. It's interesting because I think obviously we have the audience of medical workers who find a lot of joy in like, oh yeah, they're doing the thing and it's all realistic and it's so good. But in a way, I hope Whitaker was kind of the audiences who weren't familiar with that world's sort of entryway in. They could sort of maybe look through Whitaker's point of view, which was so chaotic and he didn't know what was going on.
Obviously, Santos is another amazing, strong character on the show. What can we expect in terms of your character's growth this season?
It's no longer her first day where she's trying to prove herself. It is 10 months in. She works here almost every day. She's tired. Second year of residency is very hard, and I think a lot of it is catching up to her. She still has those ambitions, but she has also been in an environment that has not felt super comfortable because even though she only worked with Langdon for one day, she is now forever painted as this person who blew the whistle on him when people don't know the full story. I think she has gone through feeling a lot of anger about that. And now it's kind of like, fine, I'm the villain. Sure, I'm just going to keep doing my work and I'll go home and that's fine. I don't need friends. But literally. But the major growth that will happen is in this season is that she does need friends, and one of them is sitting right here. And Whitaker's so empathetic and wants to help people and wants to care, and she's so averse to people caring for her and helping her and letting people in, and that's going to be the big growth, is opening up in that way.
Preparing for a role with so much medical detail, it must have been intense. What was the training process like?
It was definitely intimidating. I mean, I also came in as a squeamish person. And so it was the combination of like, so we say a bunch of Greek Latin and we perform things that usually make me pass out. That's fine. I'll be fine. But we did have boot camp for both season 1 and season 2. Man, did it get us so much more used to different procedures that, now when we step into a trauma room and we have to go through it, instead of teaching us every procedure each time, because we have the background now, they said, all right, so, all right, Supriya, you're the ultrasound, and we know exactly what that means from now on. So it created a shorthand for all of us that is so useful.
Yeah, I think it's great to just have the knowledge from like last season, and know how to do things that felt really intimidating. Like the other day I had to do sutures on something.
Oh, it's been
and
a while.
It felt nice to just kind of go like, oh yeah, I think I kind of like know what to do here. Thank God, because I remember I spent so much time learning that season 1. So yeah, it's definitely nice to be able to lean on
on some things and just learn new things that are totally crazy, like
Crazy.
the clamshell. That was an insane procedure to do in episode
Amazing.
1. Yeah, it's been a great way to come back and feel like we actually learned something in season 1.
Since you both have played medical professionals on screen, is there a home remedy that you personally swear by?
I'm a good old fan of NyQuil. Like just drinking some when you feel sick, going to bed for like 16 hours, waking up and going like, oh, you know what? I like that.
I
need
don't
that.
know if that's great medical advice.
Okay.
But
Then
you
it's
know what's
my
a good
home
one?
remedy.
Here's a good one. Advil. Ibuprofen reduces swelling as well as pain relief. And so if anything is hurt, instead of going for a pain medication that doesn't reduce swelling, go for the one that reduces swelling.
The Pit unfolds in real time over a 15-hour shift. How did that unique format shape your approach to acting and character development?
What draws us into the show is this immersive feeling, and we have incredibly talented medical consultants who show us how these procedures are done. We spent a lot of time trying to get all that right. I didn't get all the training that everybody else got because I'm not a series regular. So I'm sort of winging it. But
we're all winging it.
Yeah, you're all winging it, but you got weeks and weeks of prep. You know how to do stuff. Like I had to do like compressions and I looked foolish and
It's not true.
they had to walk me off set and teach me. It was very embarrassing. But no, I think it is this quality that we're going for, which makes it feel real. It makes the performances seem invisible. So that the preparation really becomes in the way I would prepare a play, doing theater, you're just repeating it because some of this language is so foreign and challenging, and I don't often know what it means, but I repeat it, I listen to it, and it pays off because we're there, we're giving this very adrenalized, immersive show.
We show up, and throughout the course of the season, we feel the level of fatigue these characters feel. We feel, the burden of the story, what they're going through, what they're carrying. And just by nature of working on something for several months, you feel more comfortable, more familiar. And so, like I said, the more you sort of lean into what your character is going through, the more the work kind of does itself.
Season 1 was obviously a huge success, and fans are so excited for season 2. Can you share any teasers about what's coming next?
Wow. It's definitely a continuation of our characters and a departure in a way from season 1. So I think there's some interesting character development there. I like that they're not holding too tight. They're taking risks with the characters, letting them develop in ways that maybe we didn't see coming. Dana's definitely on edge, I think, a bit from the punch and not really as tightly knit together perhaps as she was in the past. And there's some chinks in that armor, and that'll play out through the course of the season.
Season 2 is another shift at the Pit. It's a momentous shift for everyone. It's Langdon's first day back from rehab. It's Robbie's last day before going on sabbatical. And so everybody is sort of in this inflection point, and we get to learn about what the last 10 months have been for these characters, and we get to wonder about the next 10 months to come. And I think it's a really cool time to pick up.